Hi my friends, and welcome back or to my channel. I'm Pippa and this is Calm Stitch Reads. In today's vlog we're going to be reading down my June TBR and seeing how we do. So currently it is the 7th of June and I've started one of the books from my June TBR, and that is Murder at World's End by Ross Montgomery. This is my Waterstones special edition. So I started this last night, read a little bit more this morning. So hopefully the purpose of this vlog will be finishing this book as well as these other books here. I'm not sure how well you can see them. So these are the books from my June TBR. I'll link the video down below so you can see how I picked them. So they're the books I'm hoping to read this month. They're a mixed bag. You've obviously got murder mystery, we've got some healing fiction, I've got an arc, a romance, I've got a fantasy, and then I don't really know how to describe Midnight on the Celestial. Sci-fi stroke fantasy possibly. And we'll see how we go. So grab yourselves a cuppa and let's get reading. Right, so I've got a coffee at the moment. Just need a little bit of extra caffeine today, and I've got my book. So let me tell you a little bit about it. So it's a murder mystery. It's a locked door murder mystery, and I love a locked door murder mystery. So it's by Ross Montgomery. He has written quite a few children's books. I've never read any of the children's books, but I'm quite intrigued by them. So this one, I don't think I've shown you this copy. This was the Waterstones special edition copy, and it's got the most lovely end papers of the house. I love a book that's got either a map or like a diagram of the building, especially when it's a locked door mystery. So this is the house where it takes place. So I have got to chapter 19. So it's set in Cornwall in 1910 when Halley's Comet is about to come past, and at this time in this book there's a lot of hoo-ha, for a better word, about what's going to happen when Halley's Comet comes past. Some people think it's going to be like the end of the world. There's a lot of think there's going to be a lot of destruction, so they're hunkering down. And this family the man who owns this house is there with some friends and his staff, and we meet them as they're locking the house down ready for the comet to come past. So they're boarding up all the windows, they're filling in all the cracks in the doors, in the walls, so everything is completely, not necessarily airtight, but to stop anything from the gases from this comet that they think is going to come into the house. We meet, I can't remember what his name is now, Stephen Pike, and he's the newest member of the staff, and it's told from his point of view. And he is recently out of a correction facility. He's quite young, 19, 20 years old. He's out of a correction facility, and he's been given a letter of introduction to this house, and so he's there to help. I think he's like as an under butler or something like that. So he's sort of thrown in at the deep end, helping to get this house ready for the comet coming past, and his role is to supervise, look after, maybe get her name right now, Miss Decima Stockingham, which is, I'll just read what it says because I think it's quite fun. The fearless, foul-mouthed 80-year-old matriarch who relishes chaos and puzzles alike. So she's been banished to the old nursery because she causes a lot of trouble to the family, but I think she comes across absolutely amazingly from what I read of her so far. She's a feisty lady. I love her. She's got her ideas. She thinks everyone else is an idiot. She's not afraid to say that she thinks you're an idiot and she thinks your ideas are idiotic. I absolutely think she's amazing. And her and Stephen are locked down together that evening, but she doesn't want to stay in lockdown. She wants to go out and see the comet, because in her youth, in her younger days, she was a scientist and she loves science. She's been studying the comet, and the last time she saw it was when she was a young girl, so she's obviously had to wait a very long time to see it. So she persuades Stephen to take her outside. My camera's doing weird things, everything's dying at the same time. Let's hope get this filmed. So they go out together, they see the comet, they come back in, all go to bed, all is well. The next day, when they're going around unlocking all the guests from their rooms, opening everything up, they find a body. Does it say who the body is in the blurb? I don't really want to say, because spoilers. Oh, it does say in the blurb, yes. So it's the Viscount who's dead, the man who owns his house and has got everything arranged. But he's dead inside a completely sealed, locked room. And that's pretty much where I've got to. So I'm loving the writing style. It's very easy to read, very quick to read, nice big font. I love reading it from Stephen's point of view. I also love the history of it as well. It sort of reminds me of the Downton Abbey type stuff and house, with how everything is. So yeah, really looking forward to finishing this. So I will update you in a bit. Gosh, it's the weekend and I'm finally catching up on the June reading vlog. I can't even remember where I was. I think I was reading this one the last time I spoke to you, Murder at World's End by Ross. I think that's a bit glary, by Ross Montgomery. This was absolutely fantastic. I really love this. This was fun. It was predictable, but it was fun. I love the relationship between Stephen and Miss Decima. Absolutely brilliant. The banter between the pair of them was hilarious. She's absolutely amazing as a character, Decima. And from the sounds of it, it might be the start of a series. So Stockingham and Pike mystery. I would read more. So yeah, that's how well you can see that. I did predict who did it, but I didn't predict why they did it. But it was still a really enjoyable read. Next up, I picked up The Freshman Parents by Co Porteous. This is for a book tour that I'm on Instagram for July. So I'm about that way far through. I'm reading this one at work during my lunch hour because it's a bit easier to take to work than a hardback. It's fun. It's really fun. So it's about two single parents. Their children have gone off to university. Heather is very much she's a single parent. She's very much a helicopter parent, wanting to do everything for her daughter, make sure her daughter's got everything that she needs, pretty much sort of living in her pocket. But now her daughter's gone off to university and she can't do that as much. And then her daughter's roommate's dad is also a single parent, and he's very much not a helicopter parent. He's very much one who just lets her get on with it, you know, while he then goes off on his trip. So it's about how these parents are very different, but their daughters are now suddenly best friends. I love the banter between the pair of them. I'm about that way through. It's got some mixed media, which are social media messages, sort of Facebook group messages for the parents of the children that have gone to this university. And some of them, I hope I'm not that bad when my daughter goes to university. So I hope I brought her up enough that she can just kind of get on with it, but still know that I'm there if she needs it. But it's fun, it's light, it's funny, and I'm really enjoying it. So I will speak to you again when I've read some more. Can't remember when I last updated you for this June Beanie vlog. So currently I'm now reading Midnight on the Celestial, and I generally can't remember if I've already spoken to you about this or not. So this is the final book that I'm going to be reading for this vlog. There is another book that I'm still currently reading, but I'm reading that one at lunchtime at work, so that will be popped in this probably after this clip. But I started this yesterday, and about that way up to chapter 9, about that way through. It's really good so far. I went in not knowing too much about it. It was recommended by a friend, and it's I think it's a debut as well, possibly. So Ro DeMarcus comes from an important family, and in this world there's a magical group of people called the Morphs, I think it is, and then there's the group of people that aren't magic. And when the people who have got some form of magic are sort of between 18 and 19, they have to go through a trial, and if they pass the trial they're allowed to carry on using their magic, and if they fail they have their magic removed, or they have to go and serve time on the Celestial. That's my cat. She's just come in, sorry about that. They have to go and serve time on the Celestial, where their magic is drained daily to keep the Celestial running. And the Celestial is a magical cruise ship, like a luxury magical cruise ship for the people to use. Okay, but they're there as not really servants, not really slaves, but they're there as a punishment for not passing these trials. So there's different forms of magic. The form of magic that Ro has is, I think it's called resurrection, so she can see the dead and she can see things that have happened that have made people die, and that's considered to be not a good magic, which is why she ends up on the Celestial. She's just on her first day there. That's where I've got to. She's on her first day, and she has to serve this family in the hopes that she can then have a retrial to then go out into the world. So that's as far as I've got, but there is something a bit dark and sinister happening. When they were walking down the corridors, there was a very dark sense of unease, and it's billed as staff or guest, no one is safe in these waters. So I think it's going to be going, yeah, it's a gothic debut. It's going to be going down a dark, disturbing route, and I'm really intrigued to see where it's going to go. So I will check back in with you when I have an update. Welcome back. This is the final part of this reading vlog. So I finished Midnight on the Celestial yesterday evening. I enjoyed it. It was full of magic and a bit of mystery about what was really going on the Celestial. There was some slightly gruesome moments. There was friendship. There was a little bit of a love interest, but the ending was very rushed. Most of this book was set on board the Celestial and about how Ro coped with the trial she had to go through on there, with trying to build up enough support so that she could take her retrial, all while trying to sort of find out what strange things, what was causing all the strange things that were happening on the ship. And then suddenly, in the last, it wasn't even very much, last 3 or 4 chapters, we weren't on the ship anymore, and it all felt very rushed with what was happening and all the different things that were being thrown at us. And there was suddenly some characters that had never really been mentioned before. They weren't sort of in the build-up. We hadn't really got to know them, and suddenly they're then playing crucial parts in the ending of this story. And it all just felt very rushed. I mean, I'd recommend it. I think it's a YA book. I don't know if it was marketed as YA, but I'd definitely say it's YA. And it was fun. I had a fun time reading it. I almost wish it had been a duology, because I felt like the second part could have been like its whole of the book, so that you then got the stories of these other characters that were suddenly introduced, and there would have been a bit more build up in that respect. But it just felt very rushed, very clean. I suppose the best way to describe it, just a very clean ending, and I felt like there could have been a little bit more. I've also enjoyed The Freshman Parents. This has been really fun. I like the fact that it had older characters in it. It's about a single parent, Heather. Her daughter's gone off to university, and just about her life after her daughter's gone off, while being a bit of a helicopter parent, and also while trying to build a new life for herself now that her daughter's gone. So I really enjoyed this one as well. This is an arc that I'm reading for a book vlog for July. So yeah, really looking forward to that one. So they are the 3 books that I've read for this vlog. So tell me, what have you been reading? What have you been enjoying? And I look forward to seeing you in whatever comes next.